Hi guys, in this video I'll cover biweekly contest 129 from the Leetcode and the fourth problem. Now third problem I have already covered in the previous video. If you haven't watched, please watch it and come back to this fourth problem, or else you won't be able to understand. Why? Because both are interlinked. Just what is the differences I have already opened. Right. No, this is the first problem. Question problem statement is exactly the same. The difference comes in the constraint. Here 0, 1 and limit is ranging from 1 to 200, whereas in the fourth problem it is ranging from 1 to 1000. So in the third problem, I have already explained how to solve this thing and how to identify under which concept it comes under. It comes under DP, and how to solve a DP problem also I have explained. Write the recursion code and then memorize it. Don't directly jump to tabulation approach. That's how the Leetcode is also teaching us, dividing the problem and based on the constraints. So while coming to the second problem, since we have already identified it is DP and we need to write the code, and since second problem is that now it is constantly increased, which indirectly tells us that even the memorization approach will give you the time limit exceeded. So since the recursion approach was giving time limit exceeded here, and but the memorization approach was accepted, you need to convert this whole code into the tabulation format. To convert the tabulation format, I'll just give you the three simple few hints which will be very easy to convert any DP tabulation memorization problem to a tabulation problem. So basically what you have done here in the previous problem, you called both the functions, wrote the recursion function, and wrote the base condition, and made the recursion calls and returning it. Again, I will repeat what you did in the recursion function. Wrote the base condition, recursion calls, returning it. Three parts are there, right? So, and we made this thing already, the memorization table with how many variables? Three variables. Similarly, here you will make it with three variables. Either you can use the memset, or either you can use the vector of vector concept to make the 3D array. And first you are writing the base condition, right? Here if 1 equal to 0 or 0 equal to 0, both the variables are 0, then return the 1. The base condition of the recursion call will become the initialization approach of the tabulation way. Initialization approach, I mean, base condition will become the initialization approach. So here, if 1 is 0 or 0 is 0, return 1. Similarly, make it as 1 when the x is less than minimum of 0 and limit, and y is less than minimum of 1 and limit. Make it as 1. In both the cases, make it as 1. Same, base condition becomes the initialization, and the next what you're going to do is you are making the recursion calls. In recursion calls, what are you doing? If it is crossing the limit, then you are shifting the flag from true to false if it is already true, and if it is crossing the limit, you are shifting the flag to false to true if it is already false. Similarly, here the recursion calls will become the iteration of the tabulation approach. Here how I said, the base condition becomes the initialization. Similarly, recursion calls becomes the iteration. Write the here how we are calling for both the since the tabulation approach runs with the two variables, runs with one for 0, one for 1, and make this limit, add the both the possible case. You are calling for a and b, right? You are calling for a and b, and similarly add, and adding how we are adding here a plus b. Similarly, add the both the possible cases, and check for if it is crossing the limit. How we are checking for 0 if it is crossing the limit or not? Similarly, check I is greater than limit. What is I? 0. As I said, similarly, what you are doing here in recursion, similarly do it here in the iteration. I is greater than limit, then shift the flags. And similarly, if the j is greater than the limit, then shift the flags. And finally, add all the possible cases and do the mod. And always try to store the mod in some variable. Don't try to paste it in as many times everywhere, like 1e9 plus 7, 1e9 plus 7. Don't do that. And rather store it in a variable and do the mod. Thank you. That's it. This is very simple. Once you're able to solve the third problem, you can easily solve the fourth problem. If you have the basic idea how to convert the memorization table to uh, this thing iterative approach. I mean, yeah, tabulation approach. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.